Hey, Brian Maxwell, welcome to the podcast Car Biz in the Raw. I'm the host, Brian Maxwell, and today what we're going to talk about is how to qualify your customers in a way that makes it easy for you to help land them on the right vehicle and for them to make that smart, safe buying decision to do business at your store. Now, let me let you know one thing. At dealerships all around the country, I see salespeople, when they get a customer in their desk, at their workstation, or in their office, they treat it almost like an interrogation. What are you looking for? What color you want? How much you want to spend? Blah, blah, blah. What's your credit? Now, they're doing all of this without realizing these people are extremely nervous. Their defensive wall is way up. And if we don't ask the right questions in the right way, we're not going to get the right information that we need. All right? So what I'm going to be sharing with you is how you can effectively do this. Help your customer drop their defensive wall somewhat. And remember, the defensive wall is always going to be there. You're a stranger and you're a salesperson. But our objective is just to get the defensive wall down low enough where we can peek over in their backyard and see what's going on. Remember, that's all it's about. The defensive wall is going to be there, but we want to get them to drop it low enough so we can peek over and see what's going on. So how do we do that? Well, number one, when you bring your customer and sit them down, as opposed to pulling up that computer to start trying to put that information in your CRM, remember something, they're sitting right in front of you. So nobody can take your customer. And you're going to put that information in. But remember, they don't trust you yet. So you sit them down, they're looking at the back of a computer screen, and you start asking them for last name, telephone number, email. Guess what goes through their head? Oh my God, is he doing a credit app? And they'll shut down and that defensive wall will go up even higher. And I want you to think about this. If somebody typed up a letter on Microsoft Word and sent it to you, and someone else hand wrote a letter and sent it to you, which one of those would mean more to you? And if you said the handwritten, you're right. Why? It's more intimate. They took more time. It took more effort. That's the perception. And perception is reality. So with your customers, we want to make their perception to be, I'm here to help you. That's all it's about, in a genuine manner. So the way we do that, as opposed to have them look at the back of a computer screen, imagine sitting them down and you ask them, hey folks, do you guys mind if I take some notes? I want to make sure I get everything you share with me accurate because it's extremely important. Okay? Now, as opposed to us just sitting down and start writing stuff, because you know what happens? They start looking over at your desk, they're reading it upside down, they're not paying attention to what you're asking because they're more focused on that. Transparency is key to success in sales. So as opposed to them wondering what you're writing and what you're doing, let them know. Hey, you guys mind if I take some notes? I want to make sure I get everything you share with me as accurate as possible because it's extremely important to me. And then from there, you want to roll into your questions. Now, if you're at your dealership, and let's just say you have a guest sheet. I've seen a ton of guest sheets, and guess what most guest sheets lack? Personal questions, personal information. And remember something, the more a customer shares with you about themselves, the more comfortable they feel with you. I didn't say the more you tell them about you. The more they share with you about them, the more comfortable they become. So the objective is to ask questions and learn more about who they are, what they're hoping to gain, and what they, what vehicle they feel would be best suited to help them achieve that. And we do that through a sequence of questions. You may want to ask, hey, are you looking for new or pre-owned? Okay. What type of work do you do? How long you been doing that? Hey, listen, is anybody else going to be driving it? If they're there by themselves, find out, is anybody else going to be driving it? Well, yeah. Oh, really? Who was that? Now we just found out if there's a significant other. There's a sequence of questions that you can go through that when they give you that information, one, it shows that you really care. Because it's not like your typical salesperson doing the interrogation and what type of color? What color you want? Blah, blah, blah. There's no interaction. They don't care about what's going on in this person's personal life. And remember this, people don't care how much we know until they know how much we care. So their defensive wall is up because all we're talking about is that vehicle. And keep this in mind. No matter what brand you're promoting at your store, it could be Ford, it could be Chevy, it can be Mercedes, it does not matter. Every other dealership promoting the same brand has the same exact new vehicles that you have. The pre-owned lot is the only thing that varies. So what that means is that you don't have anything exclusive, no flying vehicles, none that take you back in time. So what is it that helps a customer decide whether they do business at your dealership or they go up the street or across town to do it? That deciding factor, that denominator is you. And how do we do that? By showing people we care. Zig Ziglar said it best: we can have anything in the world that we want if we help enough people get what they want. Okay? So if your objective is to earn money and make $6, $7, $8, $9, $10,000 a month, the only way that happens is by helping more people get what they want. And how do we do that? By finding out what it is that they want. By finding out what's really going on. By finding out who's going to be riding with them. And let me give you another tip. When an individual tells you they have a significant other or they have children, most definitely you should be asking what their names are. And let me explain why. Because there's going to come a point in time where you're going to be presenting this vehicle. And guess what? When you're presenting and you're saying, hey, you and your husband, or you and your wife, and you and your kids, it's very challenging. It makes it more challenging for them to paint that mental picture. And remember, what you want to do when you're going through a process with a person is you are literally building up a mental picture of ownership in their mind. And the way we do that is through what it is that we say. Okay? So the clearer it is that we speak, the better the questions that we ask to gain the information. And then when we repeat it back to them to confirm that it's right, the clearer we are when we're presenting that vehicle, what it is and how it helps them solve a particular problem, the clearer the picture of ownership is. But the less we know when we go to present, the more distorted the picture. Remember something: if an individual has a need and they're in your store and they choose not to buy, 9 out of 10 times it's either because they didn't like you or they just didn't understand the benefit. So the only way you can really present benefit in a powerful way is by finding out what it is that they hope to accomplish. What is causing them enough pain that they decided to come in and be willing to invest in another vehicle, either trading one out or adding an additional to the family. There is some reason. There is something that they're looking for, and it's up to us to gather that intelligence. Some people call it qualifying, some call it needs analysis. I call it intelligence gathering, because that's exactly what it is that we're doing. We're gathering intel. So that when we present this vehicle, you say, hey, so John, when you and Patricia take those trips to the beach like you all do, hey, you can pop the hatchback, put your cooler back there, have a cold one, and really enjoy time with your significant other. Or if they have children, hey, listen, this back seat space and the additional airbags that they have in the back seat will help Lil John, Stacy, and Susie be a lot more comfortable. And at the end of the day, if you're making an investment in a vehicle like this, I'm sure you want everybody to make it home safely in one piece, right? Right. And guess what? We got another yes. But I wouldn't have been able to present it like that if I wouldn't have known the children's name, the significant other. And some people say, oh, isn't that getting too personal? Yeah. Do you believe somebody investing $30, $40, $50, $60,000 doesn't appreciate the fact that the individual that they're working with shows that they give a damn? They appreciate that. And as a matter of fact, too many salespeople don't get personal enough. And they end up spending an hour with somebody just to find out they had them on the wrong thing. Okay? That's not you anymore. But it is all about how you greet, get them in the seat. Those two, to me, are the most important steps in the process. Because if you don't qualify right, you're not going to put them on the right vehicle. If you don't have the right vehicle, there's no demo drive. There's no demo drive. There's no deal. So it's important that you take qualifying far more serious. And there is no time frame that, hey, I got to get this done in 10 minutes or 15 minutes. No. You sit there with that person and you build with them as long as it takes for them to feel comfortable enough to share information with you. I have shared different questions. Like I have in my training manual that I give to people, I have the list of discovery questions that not only draw out personal information, but at the same time gaining the personal information, guess what else we're gaining? Information about the vehicle and how it can benefit them. Okay? So make sure that you remember this. Good salespeople practice what to say. Great ones practice what to ask. Qualifying is about gaining intelligence so you can fully understand what's going on and you can present whatever the best option is to them in the best value-driven way. All right? Now, if you know your dealership doesn't have a guest sheet, or maybe they do, but you feel like when you're using it, you're doing the interrogation thing, or you're just lost and every person you deal with, your sequence is different, not anymore. Click that link in the description because I have a free audio to help you make a powerful impression even during the pandemic. It's totally free. Click the link, you put it on your phone, listen to your Bluetooth, and enjoy it right now. All right? I'm Brian Maxwell, as always, coming in with you and the information, and I look forward to seeing you at the dealership. Click the link.